Peace be with you and welcome back to my channel for another video. I thank you for being here, liking, sharing, subscribing, disliking, whatever you feel your spirit is guiding you to do. We appreciate you being here. Take these messages as they resonate. Just a little intro to my channel and how my channel works. I basically channel messages as I'm advised per spirit to the collective or to specific people who need answers, right? So with that being said, let's get into this message. I got to be honest. I had to pray before relaying this message. It's real deep, okay? I'm sitting here and I'm, reevaluating my channel and doing things and putting things in place so that my presentation is different and my channel's under construction. So nevertheless, the download caught me by surprise, if you will. And that is really how the gift works. So let's get into this message. This is about choosing your partners wisely. I'm going to say that again. Before you decide to lay down, have sex with, marry, come into a union with anyone, remember, you are marrying their family as well. Yes, you are. In law, spiritual law. And so it's important that when you understand who you are, okay, your divine path, that you allow yourself time to pray, that you allow yourself time to consult your divine ancestors, that you allow yourself time to hear God say, this is the person for you, right? And depending on where you're at in your evolution, you could very well attract a karmic partner, okay? This is the duality in life. This is the process of growing in character. Oftentimes, we are with people because we are in a position where we have to learn a lesson, right? Or we've either refused, okay? Let me just keep it real. We've refused to learn a lesson. And so the lesson repeats itself, meaning you are in relationships and this one mirrors the last one or the last 10 or all of the relationships that you've had all of your life, right? So at some point, let me see if I can reposition this. I'm going to be so glad when I can get my channel with proper lighting, but I am working on it. This is a quick setup, Sometimes the message just has to get out. But nevertheless, back to the message. So when you're choosing a divine partner, I'm going to tell you something. There are some very toxic souls out here, and I'm not even kidding. When I initially got the download about this one particular family, it was shocking, the visions that I was seeing, right? It was shocking to me, the sickness that ran so deep in this particular family's bloodline. And at first I was like, is this a real download? Like I really had to get grounded and, just make sure there aren't any illusions, right? So very clearly I saw a very toxic bloodline. I mean, literally a family of vampires, right? And it's sickening because we used to hear about incest and we watch things in the movie like The Color Purple about people crossbreeding and, you know, uh, doing whatever, right? Just pure abominations of God at this point in our evolution. And there are people that are still doing this. Now, the saddening part, or the sickening part rather, because it really made me nauseous a little bit, is that these families are using children. Using children in sex magic. A lot of these children have been crowned with demons to carry out demonic work. Some of these children were molded very, very young. And before they could even understand sexuality. I'm going to put on some protection here. Hold on. Just give me a moment. Because I'm really upset in Satan's camp. Just one moment here. Just to break up that monotony.
Coffee burns 46 pounds in 2 weeks.
Sorry, y'all. Give me a moment. I find my sound bowls on YouTube when I can't put music on. So I got to break up some of that monotony. Some of these people are using children in sex rituals. Okay. They're using them very, very young. A lot of these children were raped by older people. This is what I saw. This is in current day. Okay. This one particular family is African American, and they are terrified that their secrets are going to get out. It is the most disgusting thing that I've ever gotten in terms of a download. And I really went back and forth with spirit, like, am I the one that you want to convey this message? It was very, very clear, abundantly clear. And they're not happy about it. They're very much aware that they're being exposed because now the judgment is real. Like, I see the divine just wanting to extinguish their entire bloodline. Everything that they did in the dark is now coming to the light. A lot of the men in this one particular family are controlling the women. Okay? Because you and I know that the solar plex and sex is a powerful ritual. Okay? And incest, I saw incest. I saw cousins sleeping together. Now remember, they're adults now. So they're still sexually, connected, right? They're still connected. But this stuff started when they were children. And it was under, an adult's control in terms of witchcraft. Saddest vision I've ever had. Innocent children who are learning love and sex, and they're being coaxed by sex demons because an adult is abusing their power, but the adult is being controlled by a demonic force, right? So, crossing the bloodline, using children in sex rituals to gain power. The men in this family had a lot of power over the women. They used the women to truly carry out their work. Okay? They know that they're going to hell. They know that they're going to hell if they're not there already. It's like being an empty vessel, soulless person going to hell. Now, I will tell you this, because a few of these people have come into contact with divine beings, they are fighting for their salvation because a lot of this was inflicted on them. Okay. At times that they were very, very innocent and they really just didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice. And so now they're into their adulthood. They've always known that this was a secret, right? Knowing that something was wrong with them. So they harbored a lot of anger and hatred in their relationships. Now, well into their adulthood, encountering divine families and divine beings, knowing, okay, this is wrong, this isn't right. literally under the control of demonic forces. Okay? They're fighting for their salvation, but some of them willingly attack divine beings. So basically, it was like this: toxic bloodline, here to carry out a karmic debt, meaning your life is only going to be karma. And then the divine offers them a hand of reconciliation or repentance, if you will, right? Because their bloodline, just going back like literally generations upon generations, are toxic. Like, ugh. I got to get out of the energy. I really got to get out of the energy. I thank God for sustaining me in light, because it made me angry, and I'm not easily angered. But when I saw what happened to these adults as children, how they were raped, how they had demons on them that made them very sexual and they couldn't control their urges. Now they're well into adulthood. So some of them are in love with their cousins, in love with their sisters. I had a dream of a brother kissing his sister on the mouth, his oldest sister, literally chained to the devil. They're being tormented because they want to get out of it, but they've been under the control of these forces and these dominant elders for so long that they don't believe that they can get out. But there is a way out. So now a lot of them are turning on their bloodline only to receive scrutiny, only to receive demonic attacks, and they're terrified. Because it's almost like if you say something, if you leave, we're going to do XYZ. And these people want to live normal lives. At least, I want to say 2 of the family members, maybe 3, want to live decent lives, right? They want out of their contract. So the divine sent earth angels into these particular people's lives, right? And the demonic roots in which they operated was so deeply embedded in them that they still did not accept the hand of God. So now the judgment is like hellfire, eternal lake of fire kind of judgment, literally cut off from the divine. And they know that they're going to hell. Some of them want to create soul ties, bonds to the divine ones, literally as a lifeline. Just imagine an IV where you're getting an IV and you need that to stay alive. Mm. Oh, they know that the message is coming out. They know it. And their time is up. What they're doing is absolutely insane. It's sad. It's almost like watching people carry out deeds that they no longer have control over, like zombies almost, right? Lusting after one another's wives and husbands. Now, the men in the family have been abusing the women for so long because the divine feminine nature, the high priestess, some of these are natural born empresses and high priestess in the bloodline that they devoured very, very young, stealing their gifts so that these men could have power over them. So a lot of them in this family married to very toxic men. I saw husbands, like all the husbands were like on drugs. All of them. Chained to the devil. A lot of these women are angry because they didn't get out sooner, right? Because there's a situation where one of the toxic men ended up meeting a divine woman, right? And she felt the energy and they wanted to tie her into that sickness. She felt it and she got out with her life. They wanted to kill her because they knew that at some point she would expose everything. Once the devil's been exposed, their demons, their power, all that, it don't work. It just doesn't work, right? And so this divine being got away, but what they don't realize, or what the men didn't realize until now, is that allowing one of the women who was married to a very karmic male that she wasn't, aware of, it set an example for the women and gave them hope. They were like, I'm chained to the devil, gonna be married to the devil. I mean, women suffering in this family, being raped of their gifts. Literally. Literally. Right? Needing the power of the divine feminine, sucking them dry, using these divine feminines to carry out their demonic work. It's a real story. It's very true and it's very real. Take it as it resonates. So this is a warning. When you come into somebody's family, when you come into their bloodline, when you co-create, you see, because there was a vision of a high priestess who had come in contact with a karmic, demonic force. Now, this karmic had gone through something so traumatic, literally laid their soul at the hands of the divine and said, please do not allow the karma of the people that had control over me as a child to fall upon my life. Went to the divine and said, I'm ready to change my life. I'm going to walk with you. Well, that did not sit with the family well, you see. Oh, yeah, it's real. Ooh, spirit. I surround the listeners of this message in divine light. I call upon the Archangel Michael to intercede right now on our behalf for every spine line monitoring spirit that these people can no longer control. They've been stripped of their power. Everything that they've done in the dark is coming to the light. And the women in the family are the saving grace. Just imagine 20, 30, 40 years of demonic oppression, chained to a demonic man who is literally sucking your energy. So when this divine feminine married this man who went to the divine, very much karmic male, and says, look, I don't want to be karmic no more. He upset the family. The family was like, look, you can't get out. We can't get out. We gonna kill your divine feminine. You better bring her to us as a sacrifice. That man tried and cried and talked to God, and God gave him that divine feminine as a gift, and he only had to walk away and do what was right. And it was so embedded in this man after so long. They had so much control over him. So much demonic control that he handed over the divine feminine. Now, here's what he didn't realize. See, because the divine knew what he'd do. And I love the law of free will. The divine knew that he would fail. But instead, he put the divine feminine in his life. The divine feminine warned him. The divine feminine had visions. The divine feminine told him everything that he needed to know in order to get out of the toxic life. And he didn't feel strong enough. Now, to this masculine's defense, who was a born hierophant, literally a hierophant, kind of like an orphan kid. The people that raised him were like the aunt and the uncle. The biological mother died due to witchcraft backfiring on her. So she gave her only son over to the brother as an offering, and she still died. And so did the father, because the child was a true earth angel. And the family knew that. The child was there to break a curse. So they veiled the child. They molested the child. They stole the child's gifts well into this person's 40s. And then all of a sudden, the divine gives this person a spiritual awakening. The person denounces the gift, finds a divine feminine, their twin flame, and they hand the divine twin flame over as a sacrifice. Let me tell you something. And they're using children right now in this family as sex demons. Literally, little, do as I say, people. They got demons on these kids so tough, and it's so sad. And it's not that this is abnormal, but this one particular family, I see one of the empresses crying out to the divine because she is tied to her male cousin through sex magic, demonic orchestrated things that they were told to do to one another as children, only to steal their gifts. She was a born high priestess pure. So she's literally fighting. I mean, when I say fighting, they going to church, they reading their Bible. They are really trying to come up out of this demonic activity, and they are being reprimanded. They are being told they will pay with their lives. Now, here's the thing that might shake up a whole bunch of people's worlds. Take it as it resonates, but I'm going to be honest, with all due respect, I could give two damns. It is a cold, hot, lukewarm ass day in hell for the devil. They are terrified. Literally. Because the gates of hell have been opened on their bloodline. And they can hear the souls that are being tormented for eternity. This is the part that I'm like, Jesus Christ, have mercy. One of them is married to, the feminine is married to a divine male. She's been raped so many times by her father that I believe she might have conceived a child with either her father, her brother, or her cousin. Definitely not the husband's child, right? That she's been raped so many times as a child, it just, my heart goes out to her. She's been raped so many times that she's not even able to be with her husband. So now he's starting to wake up, you see, because sometimes the divine will strategically place divine beings in a certain bloodline to deliver them. Oh yeah, they mad. Trust me. They are trying their best, but the Most High has rendered them absolutely powerless. Their biggest fear is that these treacherous deeds, and there's so many, are going to get out. Every single man in the family is either alcoholic, on drugs, okay? One or the other. The women are chained to them. They can't get out of the unions. They can't get out of the marriage. They don't have any pleasure. And they're being interbred inside of the bloodline. One of them, they just put a homosexual, spirit on her and him. I mean, literally, this stuff runs deep. A man that wants to be heterosexual but has a demonic force controlling them, a succubus, incubus spirit controlling them, right? To be with any and everything, a man, a woman, a dog, a cat, a rat, whatever. It is the saddest thing ever to watch people be on remote control. Take it as it resonates. Careful with the bloodline. Watch the man you lay down with. As you grow in your spiritual self, you must be mindful. So the vision goes like this. Let me just keep the story short and sweet. The vision goes like this. The divine feminine gets out of the family. And so now the women in the family are like, wait, you can get out of this? Oh, they thought, oh, she's here. She's chained to us. She ain't going nowhere. We all been like this. Come on in, sis. You're going to be miserable and chained to the devil like us. But that divine feminine got away with her life, and it enraged the entire coven. Enraged them. Detestable acts. Harnessing the divine feminine nature to carry out their acts. So when that divine female got away with her life, right? It gave the other women an idea. Wait, I can get away with this? Now, this wasn't the first divine woman that this man met. He had been married previously to another divine feminine. But she had some spiritual backing, so they couldn't attack her. But this other second high priestess who was coming into her knowing, and the divine lined them up to have a good life. This man was required to hand her soul over in order to sustain himself in the earth, have riches, money, sex, drugs, whatever. They're fighting for their lives. They're reading their Bibles. They're trying to forget their evil deeds, what they did to so many people. It's sickening. But they're being controlled by a force that is out of this dimension. A very high principality. Demonic force. That demonic force has been defeated. Confirmation. Needless to say, they have tried to do everything they possibly can to kill that divine one that got away. Everything they possibly could, so that she could not tell that story. They sent sickness, death, and then they realized, wait a minute, this is really a true divine being. Which let them know that there really is a God that could very well be watching them and or listening to them. So now they're crying out to the divine, because they never knew that they even had the hand of mercy and grace to take and change their lives. They were tricked, they were fooled, but now that they know, they're being held responsible for any evil deeds that they continue to carry out, and they are becoming very, very weak. They have to feed in order to stay alive. So these masculines, they go out, they try and look for divine ones, beings that don't know their power, beings that are on their path, are not completely, totally in their power. In order to get energy. Because remember, they don't have a soul. Their souls were taken a long time ago, and they too scared to fight. They too afraid to do the work. We're not going to even get into the psychosis and post-traumatic syndrome, confirmation. So now the men are out there literally because they've drained the feminines in the family. The men are literally out there trying to find women to devour and suck their energy in order to take back to this coven so they can feed, so they can have power. But they are burning in hell, literally. They can no longer transfer that demon to anyone. There's a rancid, nasty taste in their demonic mouths. I hear the divine saying, an eternal thirst for blood. And it's sad. And even in this, you got to have a lot of power to translate this message. So I give thanks to the Most High for allowing me to translate such a message. It's disturbing, but it needs to go out. Time's up. We checking every demon, every Akashic record, every demon. I mean, they was trying to tap into Akashic records. They was trying to tie in the bloodlines. They know that their bloodline is cursed. They know they going to hell. So they trying to find divine beings, co-create, have some babies with, get with them. They were trying to do all kinds of stuff. But now the curse is being broken. So the women are very angry and the women are turning on the men. Oh, it's a sad day in hell. Because the power that they had, if any, was that they stole from people that were just innocent human beings. I'm talking a long line, a list of people. They just sacrificed family members. They sacrificed. Some of them are expired. They're literally expired in the earth. But they keep sacrificing people. And now the demonic force don't even want the sacrifices no more. The demonic force wants them. Needless to say, the hardest part is knowing that the divine offered a hand. And there is one in the family that is praying for dear life. Because when that divine being came and married that cousin that she was having sex with and possibly had a child with, that woman represented hope to these other women. Now, this woman that came into the family, she wasn't exempt. They did everything to that woman the same way they did to all the rest of them, trying to suck their energy out. Just like that. But at this point, it's about staying alive. But to do what? To prevent eternal hellfire. It's not about staying alive. Oh, I want to stay alive. I'm enjoying my life. No, they're miserable. They're tormented. They're beyond the point of repair. Too many hands have been offered from the divine for them to break their generational curses, and they refuse. So they're staying here because they don't want to go to eternal hell. This family is toxic. They've been exposed. They have soul ties and demonic ties with a lot of people that were divine, that they're needing to live through and carry out their demonic work. because that is the way the devil stays alive. One of them in the family was so toxic, the natural born Hierophant, that they abused, that they literally turned demonic. A natural born Hierophant. So powerful that they killed his parents. He saw his parents be sacrificed. He was so tormented that every time he would have a child or get a woman pregnant, they would do miscarriage spells, right? Lines of women who had abortions. Afraid of what he might recreate, and didn't want that child to be subjected to the family that he wasn't able to walk away from or had the curse to. Well, he's thinking about it now because he's thinking, what more can I go through if I have to live like this? He's beyond wanting to leave this toxic family. The feminine is beyond it, okay? And these are two cousins. They're having sex with one another. And they have been since they were children. They both are fighting, praying, reading their Bible, fasting, begging God, losing sleep. I mean, really, really begging God. And God has turned a deaf ear. This is the harsh judgment, right? Please, divine feminines, divine masculines, before you understand sex, love, you have to do the internal work. You have to. This will prevent you from co-creating children with toxic people. Watching karma be laid upon a child's life that is innocent. It's a real story, a real vision. And the downloads came in so quick that I was like, what? Okay, Spirit, wait, what? I mean, it was like boom, 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 like exposing. Now, here's the interesting part. The masculine who was with the earth angel, the natural born Hierophant that begged to God, God gifted him with a natural divine woman. She came into the family, knew something was wrong. They wanted to feed off of her, literally suck her dry. Because remember, they're trying to stay alive. They have no souls. He felt so riddled with guilt because now he's sincerely gone to the divine. And the divine answered his prayer. Now the divine is not picking up the phone. So when that divine being came into the family to break the curse, she set out a ripple effect. And these are people's secret societies, high places, honey, baby. Let me tell you. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And now they finding out that deal they signed with the devil was real. They never wanted that male or that female to make it out. I pray for the young children in the family, because they've already crowned a few of them with demons. They believe that this is the way that they're going to live forever. A child's energy is pure. So they're hoping that these children carry out their demonic works. Stuff is real. And it's happening right now and today. They're very much aware, but they're powerless. Their time is up. Time's up. Please know that the hell fire is real, but so is the Holy Ghost fire. Snatching people's souls, literally. People that are demonic, people that should have never had rank in any society, abusing their power. Families literally being exposed. So I'm going to get out of this energy. But I had to put it out there because I got to be obedient to spirit. I hear spirit saying for what they've done, there is no coming back. The torment is something that they cannot even imagine. Whew. Take this as a warning. Consult your ancestors. Consult your bloodline. Consult the Most High before you decide to marry into these cursed families. All that looks good is not good. We are at a time where you're going to have to vibrate a little bit higher. Yeah. Until next time, as always, peace be with you.